Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are covering a soft glam look. We're doing soft glam because it's pretty easy to pull off, just takes a little bit of practice. Glam because we are using every single product known to mankind to contour those cheeks. On top of that, soft because it's daytime appropriate and you can easily transition this to a nighttime look by just throwing in a little darker color, changing your technique and where you apply this product, and that easily makes this a nighttime appropriate look. So if you want to learn how to get this look, please keep watching. First, what we want to start with is a nice clean canvas. Make sure your face is washed, exfoliated, and moisturized, and we're going to go in with the POREfessional's Pro Balm to minimize the appearance of pores. I'm going to make sure I put it all over my face. I'm going to try to distribute it as evenly as possible using just my fingers and the warmth of my hands to smudge it in and get it nice and even all over. Then we're going to go in with a concealer and conceal those bags. So I use LA Girl's Pro Conceal Concealer in Orange. I feel like the orange in here kind of helps hide the undertones of blue and purple under my under eye area, around the nose, and around the mouth. So whatever skin issues you might have, use the appropriate corrector underneath, and then we're going to go in with the concealer. Here I'm using a damp beauty blender just to go ahead and blend out all the concealer that we've put underneath. You want to make sure you start with a little less product than what you think you might actually need, because then what happens is if it's too much, it's harder to blend in with the actual concealer that you throw on top. Usually I go in with the MAC NC42, but that's my ride or die concealer. But today I picked up the SEPHORA concealer just to try it out, and it actually works beautifully. So I go ahead and use a thin layer right over the areas that I've covered. So I'm really digging this new SEPHORA concealer. So if you get a chance, go ahead and try it. It's about probably half the price of the MAC concealer. Today I use the orange corrector, sometimes I'll use red lipstick, but look at the coverage difference from side to side. So go ahead, check it out, see if you like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. Again, we're going to use that damp beauty blender and just blend nice and easy out. So we're going to go in with the Chanel Perfection Lumiere Fluid Foundation. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this on top of the flat Kabuki brush here. What I'm doing here is just applying it slowly in a tapping motion. Now you'll notice that the tapping motions with the brush and with the beauty blender are slightly different. Because this is fast forwarded, you can't really tell what technique I'm using. The Sigma flat top brush is I'm tapping back and forth and just gently in small circular motions blending it. All I'm doing is a gentle tap with the beauty blender back and forth, bouncing it. Make sure to get your lips, ears, and your neck. Next, we are going to go ahead and start the contour process. On a day when I want a more dramatic look, I like to use a cream contour followed up by a powder contour. So contour is the darker color, highlight is the lighter color. Here, I'm going to use the LA Girl's Pro Conceal Concealer in the shade Espresso for my dark contour. And then I'm going to use the Morphe brush M164. I either apply this contour with the applicator that comes in the container, or I just apply it onto the brush and just apply it wherever I need it. It's better than getting heavy-handed and just sticking it all over your face and then you can't take it off. So this way you can apply as needed, go all the way around the cheekbones, the forehead, the nose, and a little bit on the jawline. Now I'm going to use the Cream Ivory highlighter color, and I choose a color that's a few shades lighter than what you would normally wear. Put it underneath the eyes, right next to the darker contour on the cheekbones, on the chin, on the nose, and up onto the forehead. You can also pull this contour down along your throat and the neckline and the collar. I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this video. I may do that with the powder and blend in the light color first, and then the dark. If you start blending in the dark first, you're going to have a harder time adjusting that across your face, and it's just not going to apply correctly, and the light's not going to hit your face in the right spots, so you'll be darker in certain areas that you would probably not want to. Make sure you also get into that hairline when you blend, and make sure you're blending in a tapping motion. I know it looks like I'm just sliding it across my face right now because it goes really fast, but tap that area through. Now I'm going to go ahead and just use that same Morphe brush, and I'm going to just take whatever's left on it and just tap it along the sides of my nose to give it a slightly more defined look. And whatever's left on that product, I like to make sure I get in at the hairline, otherwise it looks like a sharp contrast when you actually go to style your hair, or even especially if you start to pull it back. Next, we're going to go ahead and bake our face. I'm using the Ben Nye Luxury Banana Powder mixed in with Airspun Loose Face Powder in the color Translucent Extra Coverage. I like to mix these 50-50 together in a container and use that. So we're going to go ahead and put it underneath our under eyes and any other place we've highlighted. So you're going to use that same damp beauty blender, and you're going to start and you're just going to press it into the skin, and you want to be fairly heavy-handed with this because any extra will fall off and you can fix that. However, if it's a little bit less, it won't set correctly. The idea behind baking is that you actually are going to use the heat of your body in combination with whatever liquid and cream you put on your face with the powder on top to lock it in and seal it in so it doesn't smudge and budge. You're going to go ahead and pull that powder, and you're going to bring it all the way down your chin, same place that you've highlighted. On the bridge of the nose, onto the forehead, onto the chin. And then I usually don't leave my dark contour color on, but that's what we're going to do next. We're going to set with the powder contour. I'm going to go ahead and use the Kat Von D shade Light with the Morphe brush M458. And it's a flatter brush, but it's kind of like the Narzita brush. It's not quite as long and quite as thick. So I like to tap in my contour here. Don't get too crazy. Just go lightly because you can always add it in a little bit later, and just kind of sketch out your cheekbones a little bit. We're also going to do the same thing with the nose and make sure that we go around the forehead and a little bit along the jawline. And like I said, I don't get too crazy with it because if you start to get heavy-handed, it is much harder to take off the darker color. It's much easier to build it up. And then here what I'm doing, I'm just going ahead and using whatever's left on my brush, and I'm pulling it down onto the collarbone area along the side of my throat, and then just contouring that a little bit. You could always throw a little bit of highlighter on there as well. Next, we're going to go ahead and do the eyes. I'm going to use a fluffy brush here, and we're going to make sure that we start with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Any kind of primer you like, that's fine. I find that this gives me a more neutral base to work with, and because this is a semi-liquid cream, I guess, we're going to go in and set this cream with a more neutral looking eyeshadow. This is so that the colors are more vibrant, things stick a little bit longer, they last longer overall, but then you also have a nice smooth canvas to work with that's uniform looking all the way across. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on both lids, make sure they're nice and covered. We're going to go in with the Beaches and Cream eyeshadow by Makeup Geek. Most of the eyeshadows used here in this tutorial are Makeup Geek. I love them, they're affordable, the colors are great, the pigmentation is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and just slap that on. You don't have to be too precise with this. That's why we're using a fluffy brush. And we're going to go ahead and do that on both sides. And next, we're going to go ahead and use Peach Smoothie. It's not going to pull on the camera to be a strong color, and in real life, it really is a very flesh toned color. But this is what I'm going to start to use to define my crease. I like to make my crease just a little bit higher than my lid because I have hooded eyes, so you usually can't see my crease. And then we're going to go in with the shade Chickadee. Chickadee is a little bit warmer in tone, and as you can see, I'm slowly building up the warmer tone colors, then working my way into the dark colors. Idea being, your crease is a little bit higher, you keep the darker colors when you go in for the corner of the lid lower, and that way you get this nice soft effect, and it's a gradient effect. It's not very harsh, so we're going to just go in with Chickadee, both sides, create that crease. We're going to come in with the shade Morocco. Morocco is a very nice orangey shade. Do not get heavy-handed. You want to make sure you're always tapping off the excess with any product you use, especially this one. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that into the crease and make sure, like I said, if you need to bring that crease up a little bit, that's what you're gonna do, yes. And we're gonna go ahead and just smooth that out, and mostly working on the outer corner and then pulling in. Next, we are going with the shade Cocoa Bear. It's a nice warm brown. This is gonna be actually where our crease starts. With this shade, remember to tap, start on the corner, pull your way in, but mostly focusing on that outer motion. Try to get that tail going a little bit, which will give you a little bit of depth to your eye as well. Next, we're gonna use just a regular paintbrush that I got from Michael's. And with this paintbrush, we're just gonna throw in Morocco, Peach Smoothie, everything that we've used so far on the crease, bring that down. If you do this as you go along, you'll notice that things look a little crazy at the beginning, but I promise it'll come together. The problem is when you do an eye like this that has a lot of color in it, if there's not good balance with the eye, it will start to look funny and you will look slightly like an alien. So just make sure you bring all those colors down. Next, we're gonna use Bitten. Bitten is one of my favorite crease colors, transition color, accent color. It's a nice purpley cousin of Cocoa Bear. So we're gonna go ahead and use a pencil brush here. This is an e.l.f. pencil brush. All you're gonna do is tap off the excess, and I want you to create a V here. All you're gonna do is a small little V, but keep that V fairly low, almost to the edge of where we've created that crease. Then I just take a little bit of whatever's left on the brush and I try to incorporate that into the crease. So just pull it in just about halfway into the eye. Next, we're gonna go in with the shade Americano. This is a nice, warmer, darker, richer shade of Cocoa Bear. And we're just gonna do the same thing with the same brush, pencil brush, and you're just gonna tap it in just gently into a V shape. It's okay if your V looks harsh right now because we're gonna blend that in with a brush. This brush, this fluffy brush, any fluffy brush will do. This is, I believe, from Rite Aid, some whatever eyeshadow brush they have, and you're just gonna smudge that out, keeping that low. Do not get very crazy with this crease, and do not pull that dark color up higher than where your crease is. That's where sometimes your eyeshadows will start to look muddy and the color doesn't come through. So just go back and forth between the pencil brush and the fluffy brush and just blend and blend and blend until you get a nice gradient going. What I do, and if you're very confident with your eyeshadow, get your fluffy brush, dip it into Bitten, and I tap off as much of it as I can, and then I throw it into those areas where I feel like the color is not quite as pigmented as I would like. With the lighter colors and give ourselves a little bit of a blank canvas on the brow bone and on the lid. Next, for the actual center of the lid, we are going to be using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in collaboration with Jaclyn Hill. This has been a popular color. This is Champagne Pop. Beautiful color. We're going to go ahead and go in and use Urban Decay or MAC Fix Plus. And we're going to use that in conjunction with this highlighter. Look at how pretty. All right, so we're going to go ahead and throw this right onto the lid. And when you do this, you can go sideways. You can go from the top down. You can press and slide, however you like. If I feel like I'm not getting enough pigmentation, I actually don't dip right into the Urban Decay or anything again. I go ahead and just slap on a little bit more pigment because the last thing you want is a wet eyeshadow to work with all over. So I kind of go back and forth, use it as needed. Once you get the color that you're looking for, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use that same brush that we used to blend out our crease, and we're just going to make sure everything looks uniform. And then we're just going to go ahead and bring this whole look together. And now we're going to go ahead and dust off all of the bakage. So start with dusting off the light stuff first, just like how we blended out the highlight first, in a flipping kind of a motion. And then we're going to go ahead, I'm going to use the same brush, I'm not too picky about it, and blend out the darker parts of my contour. So now we can finish up the rest of the face. For my blush, I'm using Makeup Geek's XOXO blush. Shout out to Danielle, my friend, who gave me this blush, as I love this color. It's like a light pink shade, and you don't have to get heavy-handed because all of Makeup Geek's products are fabulously pigmented, so you don't have to use a whole lot. Then we're going to go back in with the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop, throw it all over our spots we want to highlight on the cheekbone, the nose, the chin, the forehead, and just highlight until your heart's content. Next, we're gonna go in and fix the eyeshadow a little bit. I decided I needed a little bit more color and a little less warmth. So I went in with the Kat Von D Monarch eyeshadow palette, threw in a little bit of tan in there just to kind of cancel out some of that warmth that I threw in there before. I felt like this color needed to be toned down just a little bit. Then I'm going to go in with a darker brown shade, and this is, if you're super confident again, this is where your skills come in. Take that pencil brush and just etch out the edge of your eyeshadow where you feel like you want the corner to be. Now, once you've got that nice wide V shape going, that's not going up too high next to your eyebrow, we're going to go ahead and blend that in with a fluffy brush. If you feel like you mess up or you get fallout, just throw on a little bit of that bakeage powder that we were using. And we're just gonna go ahead and fix that in, blend it out, boom, done. It looks beautiful, it's crisp, it's clean. Next, we're gonna go ahead and finish off the eyes with the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner, one of my favorite liners of all time. It's super black, super pigmented, super rich, and it doesn't budge and smudge. I cannot say good enough things about this liner. It's a little pricey, but you know, for special occasions, I think it's worth it. I'm just going to do a simple wing liner. If you guys want a tutorial, oh, there we go. Yep, that happens way too often. If you guys want a tutorial, just go ahead and comment below. This is an Almay black eyeliner, and I'm going to line my waterline on the top and on the bottom. Nice and easy. Then we're going to go with the Power Volume Collagen L'Oreal Mascara. L'Oreal makes one of my most favorite brands of mascara, affordable and just wonderful. Now you can see I'm using that wand differently. I'm actually pulling up my eyelashes first and curling upwards and then going underneath and pushing them up. I feel like this gives me more volume, more length, and just a lot more curl. I don't use an eyelash curler ever. Actually, I own one, but I think I've used it twice and I still didn't find enough reason to use it. Then I'm just going to throw it onto my bottom lashes. Lastly, we're going to go ahead and use Ice Queen. We're going to highlight just our brow bone. And then usually I use Anastasia Beverly Hills for my eyebrows. However, today we're using Wunderbrow. If you guys want to see a review on it, I've already done one. You can go ahead and check the description box below. And the review's there, the tutorial's there on how to use it. So I'm just going to speed through it here. Next, we're going to go ahead and finish up this look with a very pretty lip. I love Ofra Cosmetics long-lasting liquid lipstick, especially in Charm. So we're going to go ahead and just outline it. I don't use a lip liner with this. I don't use anything really. And then just set your face with the Urban Decay Cosmetic Spray. All right, guys. So this is the final look. And like I said, this is an easy look to transition from daytime like this is to nighttime. Throw a little bit more color, a little bit mascara, a little bit more eyeliner, a little bit more purple, Americano, you know, and get the look that you would like. Thank you guys for joining me. Please leave all your questions, concerns, and comments in the box below. And if you guys have any future requests, please leave those there too. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I will see you next time.